Hello, bitches.
Yeah,
Holla at your boys.
I was just telling you I upgraded my Skype
Totally
and
different.
knock on wood, everything went fucking perfect. Like they asked me for an administrative name and password and I tried a couple times. Like I got rejected, but then after maybe like the fourth try, got it. It fucking like updated. It was like, do you want to update this? I was like, sure. Didn't ask me another password, and now this shit looks like a brand new pair of Jordans.
You used to have to, like, ask to be somebody's friend or something before
hmm
you could call them, and now they got rid of that.
Yeah, I saw a weird message. It was like from like Corinita or some shit, and it was like, "Are you interested in doing this?" And I was like, "How did you even send me a
Yeah,
message?"
it used to be you had to, like, reach out to the person and get accepted, and now they decided, like, oh no, just make it like you could call whoever you want.
I'm always skeptical of like how these accounts. So I mainly use Instagram, and for some reason, if I'm like watching porn or something like that, I'll get all these random accounts like friending me. So I mean, like, how is it just like a bot that has like these like weird algorithms that will somehow just friend me or some shit? Because they can't be real accounts.
Of course, they could be real accounts. People probably know you through this podcast, and then they try to
No,
friend
but
you or whatever.
it's like weird accounts. It's like some are fake, some are like a name with mad numbers at the end of it. Like shit that I could tell if someone's real from the show trying to like maybe friend me on Instagram or something,
So you're
and I
like
could tell like a
100%
fake.
sure it's all fake when that happens?
Thousand. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
You,
that happens sometimes on Twitter. That happens too, where like when I started getting a bunch of followers, sprinkled in with the bunch of real new followers would always be some obviously fake shit.
mhm.
So I think maybe that happens. Like if you get, let's say you get like 3 or 4 genuine new followers in a day, that then you might get some bots or something too.
But what is the? There can only be bad things associated with that, right? Like there's no.
I have no idea, to be honest with you, like what goes on. I know that there were scandals of like Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich and a bunch of these politicians like buying followers on Twitter. Like that was a
Mhm,
scandal. And
mhm,
like I think there are companies that do that, but you could always track it because what happened was, and this is how they figured it out, when they tracked like Newt Gingrich's followers, he got a giant spike in followers. They all came from like the same place in like India or some shit.
yeah.
And so yeah, you buy from a company and that's what happens. But in terms of outside of that, like I don't know why there are bots and what they're doing, but they're out there.
I could see the reasoning behind. I know there's a lot of I know this clothing company in New York that they make hot clothing, like it's dope. But when you go into a meeting with someone now, like social media is huge. So like you can be like, we have 6,000 followers on Instagram, and like our photos are getting thousands of likes. When in reality, I mean I know people that on genuine photos, it'll have like 7 likes or something like that. But then, a couple hours later, you'll see like 670. And I'm just like, huh? And then you click on the thing because you could see who likes photos. And it's all these weird accounts. Like,
Oh, so they're buying it. They're
they're
probably buying it.
definitely buying likes. And to my point is I spoke to someone who was in a position of like having a meeting with one of these companies, like the clothing companies. And she was an older lady, but she had no idea. She was like, "Oh, their photos get like 700 likes, and they have this amount of followers." When in reality,
And you broke it
no
down.
one's no one's looking at their shit. And she was like, "Wow, I didn't even realize that like they have fake
Yeah.
things." So it's like I could see a startup company doing that. So people are like, "Wow, they're pretty popular." But for
Yeah.
like one company, I don't get it.
Well, I have like 120 some odd thousand Twitter followers, and there's a certain number of like guaranteed retweets and likes when you have that many legit followers. You know what I
hmm
mean?
hmm
So I've seen people that have more followers than me, but they have much less activity on their account. Like they'll get
hmm
2 retweets for a tweet, and they have like double the number of followers I have, and then
hmm
that's how you know that they bought followers. But then also there are people who get legit like deals for being popular online. Like all these
hmm
makeup girls on YouTube,
Yeah.
they get free makeup,
hmm
and then all they're
There's a
basically
word for them now. Oh, influencers or some shit.
yeah.
There's what they're called now. It's like a new
And
profession.
yeah, so it's weird because I feel like every single like, so there are some golf YouTubers who I watch some of their stuff, and they ended up getting like legit clothing deals, and I think maybe even a club deal with one of them, where like they're golfers. If you're a golfer on the PGA Tour, like a golf company like Callaway or Titleist or Nike from back in the day, even though they stopped making clubs, like a golf TaylorMade, like they'll reach out to these people, they'll pay them a certain amount of money, and they have to play their golf clubs, play their golf ball, and then wear their clothes if it's a clothing company too. And like these golf YouTubers, now they're getting deals too. So that tells me that the golf industry is actually like a little bit, they're like kind of forward looking in that sense, where they see, oh, social media stars can have a decent amount of influence. And then, like I said, with the makeup girls, same thing. They'll get free makeup, and then.
But it also makes you skeptical of
their
these
opinion.
People now.
Yeah, their opinion.
Because
exactly.
to your old point, it's just like, all right, Nike's giving them gear and shit and clubs or whatever.
And so
they're gonna fucking
if
swear
they do,
by their shit.
Yeah, if they do a review, they're biased, going to be biased in favor of those
this
companies.
shirt sucks, club sucks. Nike will say, fuck you, we're not sending you any more shit.
Of course. Like, that actually happened with one of them. One of them, this guy had a deal with, I think it was Titleist, the golf company, and then one of the other companies were like, we're not sending you our clubs to review anymore, because he used to get free clubs from everybody to review. He's like, we're not going to send it to you because you have a deal with Titleist, so you're going to be biased against us right up front. So I think all that stuff is so interesting. And what's funny is, like, so for what I do, I'm not above, like, if I like a certain clothing company and I don't see any ethical problems with that clothing company, like if I think like everything they're doing is ethical and they're a good company, I wouldn't be above wearing a shirt if a company wanted me to wear it. You know what I mean?
So, if you genuinely liked it, though, but like,
I'd have to genuinely like it, and I would have to be convinced that there's no ethical problems with the company. And the funny thing is, they would never. It's funny because even though I have a legit, like, you know, my listeners are awesome. You guys are awesome. Like. So I think it would actually be a good thing for a smart company to do, but they're not even interested. They wouldn't even be interested.
They're interested. They're just dumb as fuck. Like that Seltzer company that sent you Seltzer. They're geniuses.
The one thing I got. Yeah. So let me tell the story for everybody who doesn't know, because there are people who probably have just come to this show later on and they don't know about #BigSeltzer. But so what happened was, there was a segment I was doing one day. And in the middle of the segment, I legitimately like had something either stuck in my throat or I was coughing, like something legit where it was bad. And so I said, like, hold on. And then I reached and picked up my drink and drank it and then put it back down. And then I noticed, oh, I'm drinking seltzer, because that's pretty much all I drink. And then I held it up and I was like, this isn't a paid ad, but, and whatever seltzer it was, Polar or Vintage, whatever it was, I was like, but
I think it was Vintage, right?
Yeah, Vintage Seltzer.
You can't sell them out now and not fucking remember the shit that they sent you.
Well, yeah, you're right. I really should know that. But anyway, so I like smiled and held the thing and put it down, and a listener to the show on Twitter took that clip, sent it to the Seltzer company on Twitter, and was like, hey, have you guys seen this? You should probably hook them up with a deal. And then that company responded and was like, you're right, we're going to do that. And I was like, wait, what the fuck's going on here? And then they legit reached out to me and they were like, hey, we want to send you like a thank you package. I was like, what the fuck? And so they sent me, I honestly, I don't know if it was Vintage or Polar. I don't know which one it was.
I think it was Vintage. I think it was Vintage, because didn't you have a shirt too?
Yeah, they sent a shirt and they sent
like the flavors that were discontinued.
Yeah, they even sent me the discontinued shits, which is sort of official. They were like, it was like pineapple something and strawberry
they were banging too, right?
They were banging. They were super banging. It tasted like soda, even though it wasn't soda. But anyway, so but that was the only thing anybody's ever sent me. And then what's funny is that still stuck, because I did a segment after and I was like, I sold out, guys. #BigSeltzer sellout, and then that took over on its own, and now everybody calls me the Seltzer sellout. And there's some truth to it. I mean, I'm fucking drinking seltzer right now. Shit.
Yeah, but you genuinely like seltzer. Like, I mean,
I drink it all the time. Before that happened, I would drink it all. It's all I drink.
I'm not gonna knock TYT, but I'm gonna knock their shit a little bit, if that's allowed on this channel.
No, banned. You're not allowed to say anything negative about them. Please, go ahead.
But when we were out there, it was like you guys did a segment, and in the middle of the segment, they realized that like a mug for some fucking law firm or some weird bank wasn't on the set. And I was almost like, what the fuck? Like, like,
Did that really happen? I don't remember
yeah,
this.
yeah, they rushed a mug onto the set midway through or something like that. And then after the segment, I think Cenk like plugged it or something like that. And I sort of was like, I
I
just
do
felt,
remember him doing an ad. I don't remember what it was for.
yeah, it was like some bank or something like that. But in the middle of the segment, he realized, or one of the producers realized that the mug wasn't sitting in front of his notes or some shit like that. And it was just like,
It was too much.
It was too much,
Yeah,
and you
too
start
much.
to see that, like, it's unnecessary. Like, if you had a weird, thing over your shoulder or something, it would just be unnecessary. Like people like you just because it's raw. It's like there's nobody
Yeah.
that is like fucking contaminating your waters, and it's just like once you see that shit, or you get you get a plug after his show, and you're just like, ugh, I didn't need that.
Well, they do that. They have an ad team now, and they'll do like they'll play a little recorded ad that they do before a video, whether it's like 15 seconds or whatever. And I think, for me, I would have to love that product so much that I honestly couldn't wait to share it with everybody in order for me to do something like that. Because I'm not a fan of like putting it in every segment. I think that's asking a lot. Like you want a 15-second thing before a video is like, damn, you're robbing 15 seconds from the people.
Yeah.
And especially if you are putting your stamp on it, if you're the one who's promoting it hardcore, you have to fully believe in that product. Now, to be fair to TYT, I think I know the thing you're talking about, the bank thing you're talking about. And actually, the whole point of that bank is like they divested from all fossil fuels. They divested from... So, like, it's supposed to be like a very left-wing bank, so that's
Got it.
be fair to them, to give them credit. But yeah, I agree with you that that's not like to interrupt in the middle of something to do an ad or to have product placement. Yeah, that feels weird. But then again, like I said, if I really like a clothing company and they were ethical or whatever, and they wanted to have some sort of deal, I'm not above that. I would consider it.
But then again, I mean, I see all these sports athletes, and you hear other athletes critiquing them on TV, and they'll talk about like, hey, while you can get it. So like you'll see like A-Rod when he was young was doing weird commercials or magazine shoots, like kissing a mirror with his shirt off and just doing weird shit. So it's like if you can get that money, like, or you can get that ad, at what point?
Again, it depends what company. I think that matters. Like if like fucking a big bank comes up to me and asks me to do something, like,
or
fuck
like a
you.
rifle company or some shit.
Yeah, like you're the reason the economy crashed. If fucking, like, I've seen, whatever, Capital One commercials and Jennifer Garner or whoever is in it, and it's like, yo, don't, like, that's not a good company. They haven't done, like, they're really fucked up. It's really fucked up to like push them. You know what I mean? So I think there's varying degrees of what is reasonable and what's not reasonable in terms of...
and believable, too. Like, when Shaq's fucking trying to fit his ass in a Buick or some shit, you're just like, this motherfucker is just trying to get money. He is on every single fucking ad on TV.
Yeah, no, Shaq... I like Shaq on a personal level, but the thing that annoys me about him is I remember back, he was doing literally like land deals or some creepy shit, some sketchy shit with Chris Christie, Governor Chris Christie.
Shaq was?
Yes,
really?
Yes, he was in some sort of real estate deal or something. And I was like, yo, yeah, Shaq is like... I mean, when somebody says sold out, that, like, his picture's in the dictionary under sellout. Like, he will promote anything for any reason at all. Just unscrupulous in how he does it. You know what I mean?
This motherfucker's in commercials with the General. Like, do you really think he's fucking needs car insurance? Like, he's probably got personal drivers and all this shit. Like, and the General, fuck the General, man. I want him to come after me if he's a real dude out there, because they're a fucking fake company. Because I needed car insurance, and I called the General because, like, they were like, we'll fucking give car insurance to anybody. And this was when I was a teen, and I had just gotten in a car accident or something like that. And I was like, no car insurance would give me company. State Farm, whatever else is out there. State Farm's the only one I could think of. Or what's the Orbits or some shit? I don't know, the girl. Well, long story short, I called
Progressive
the General.
is the girl.
Progressive. I called the General, and all it does is tell you every single car insurance company. Like it's not an actual car
Oh,
insurance.
so it's a consolidation site where they give you the prices of all the other ones.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
on the commercial, it
They
makes it
act
seem
like
like
it's
they're their
insurance.
own shit.
Yeah, for the how's the jingle go? For the best low
Um,
rate you could get
get
online,
online,
go to the
call the
general and
gym.
save some time.
Yeah, there's
Damn,
so
that
many
stuck with
I
me.
was
That's
just singing
crazy.
jingles the other day, and
Yeah,
there's
but
some
I
shit
get
that.
so pissed off, Corin, listening to like there are commercials where the music I hear the commercial so much, and so I hear the music from the commercial so much that I want to fucking break shit. Almost to the point where I would consider, if I was president, I would consider a ban on
On
fucking
jingles?
music in commercials. Like, did you know they actually had a law that said you can't, for the commercial, make it go louder than what the show is?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, the
I heard
FCC
that.
had some sort of rule like you can't do that because what they do is the companies were like, "What if they walk up and go to the bathroom? I want to make sure they hear it," and so they made them make it like double the fucking volume, and that's fucked up. And I don't think they should do that. And I feel like that about fucking songs now. Like there's that commercial for I forget what car it is, but they mixed that Havana song
Yeah, Havana, ooh la
then
la.
they mix that with hold on, I'm
Oh,
coming. I don't know what it's
I don't
like
know
some car
that shit.
commercial, but I hear it all the fucking time, and I'm like, "Yo, stop!" The first time I heard this commercial, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of hot that they mixed those two songs." But
Yeah.
I've heard that fucking commercial 3,000 times, and I mute it every time it comes on.
There's that. There used to be a I think Pitbull was in some like Verizon commercial rapping to like and there was some catchy number of the phone number to call or something. Selena and Barnes have been at the game for a minute. Their shit with the Selena and Barnes
Oh
injury
yeah,
attorney.
no, I like
Calling 800.
and I like Robeson Oil. That jingle is fucking classic.
Which one is that?
Oh, son, are you kidding me? I'm gonna play this shit right now, hard body.
But like, I mean, they've done their job that they've like gotten their fucking jingle out there. And I've heard Selena and Barnes so many times, but I know that they're injury attorneys, and I would never call them. But God forbid I needed an injury attorney. I fucking know Selena and Barnes.
Only people in the Northeast are gonna know this commercial when I play it. Okay, I gotta find the right one.
There's so many fucking weird commercials out there.
You'll know this when you hear it. This jingle's hot. It gets better.
That's like the Michael Jackson beat, right?
I don't know about that. You got a friend in Robeson Oil.
That shit's a banger, though. You got a friend in Robeson.
Oh, what a great commercial. Best commercial of all time. I
That is
never
a
got
good
tired of that jingle. That's the one I was like, oh, it's on.
That's a good one. The 1-800 Cars for Kids. The
Oh, fuck that
1-800
shit.
Cars for Kids.
I want to bankrupt that company.
KARS Cars for Kids.
Oh, I hate that one. Oh, it's so annoying.
The shit that pisses me off the most, and it happens every fucking morning when I'm home, is the lady. It's those like she smokes cigarettes, and she's like, I never lost anything before except this, and she fucking moves her thing, and there's a big ass hole in her throat, and I'm like eating my eggs, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, all
I have
those.
to change the channel every single time.
Yeah, it's fucked up because they work too. Like
Oh
those
my
commercials
God.
work.
How would that not work? That's
Yeah.
like someone like, hey man, don't fucking have sex. We're all look at my dick, and like his dick is just all like disgusting. You'd be like, oh my God, I'm never doing what you did ever again. Like those commercials are powerful, man. The dude's like, I've been smoking my whole life. Take a look at my real face, and he'll like fucking move his face over and have like
Yeah.
just fucking dicks all over his face.
It works, but those public education campaigns worked, which is amazing.
Oh,
But
those work, but like the old school drug commercials where it was just like, hey,
this
Billy,
is your
you wanna
brain on
smoke a
drugs.
joint?
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, I don't know
I
about
sort
all
of
that.
do.
They would just like crack an egg and be like, "Any questions?" It's like, yeah, actually, I have a lot of them. What the fuck was that? By the way, to the advertising stuff we were talking about, I feel like
Got any questions?
the worst thing to advertise, the worst thing to sell, I feel like, is supplements because like Alex Jones was doing this on his show. Like people get caught up in the Alex Jones thing in terms of the Sandy Hook stuff and whatnot. But the real thing that could be legit, like, no, you're seriously breaking the law, is his supplements. He sells these supplements, and he claims they do all this shit, and like, of course it's not FDA regulated at all.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just selling fucking snake oil. He's just selling bullshit pills. And I feel like that's one, like, you have to be really unethical to do what Alex is doing. You know, like, that's some really unethical shit. That's like the worst of the worst type shit.
Yeah. Some people are just fucking scumbags. Like, I've had to sell stuff. Like when I worked at the ice cream store, you would have to like push a certain product or something like that. And I would really get behind some shit that like I really believed in. But it's hard. Like, if you're, like you said, if you're an ethical person and you have good morals and shit like that, for me, it's hard to sell some shit that I know. I'm like, I'm selling this to them and I'm like, this shit doesn't work. Like, or like, what are they going to, I have a tendency of sometimes selling something to someone and I'm just like, what are they going to do with this shit? But then I talk to like my wife or something. She's like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's for them to figure out. Like, you can't think about that.
Yeah,
you know?
but I think you're right that you have to like the thing. If you don't like the thing, then that's like the definition of unethical. Of course, that's unethical.
I guess, but they might like it, you know, like, so like you can't think for them.
It depends how you make your pitch then. If your sales pitch is, hey, listen, this isn't my cup of tea, but this is might be for you. If you like it, then that's perfectly ethical. Sure, but I feel like
that'll be such a hard pitch to make because they'd be like, well, why don't you like this shit?
And then you got to be, that's the thing. It's all about honesty and telling the truth, because that's the only way you're going to be able to look at yourself in the mirror at night is if you just tell the truth. Like, this, hey, I like this. That's why I'm selling this. Then it's perfectly reasonable. Then it's everybody will be like, yeah, he likes it. What the fuck's the problem? There's no problem here.
That's like if those golf companies were any smart, they'd fucking still give their shit to the people promoting it. And if you gave it a bad review, they'd reach out to the guy and be like, well, why doesn't that shit work? We respect your honesty. We're going to send you more shit now.
Yeah, we're going to tweak it.
Hopefully be better.
And you'll like the next generation of it. Yeah, I agree with that. That makes perfect sense.
Instead of just always like, that's why these fucking CEOs and like all these top people that have just fucking yes men around them sucking their dicks, they always end up crashing and falling because they never have anybody saying like, dude, that apparel line doesn't work, or maybe you shouldn't do that shit. It's just
that's a wonderful point. That's so true. The reason why a lot of these big companies just eventually, like MySpace or some shit, is because nobody's keeping it real.
Like, Tom, we don't want you on our top 8s. Maybe don't put yourself on everybody's fucking shit.
You need people to tell people who are making big, important decisions. You need dissenting voices. You can't have yes men all around. Mm-hmm. You need people to say, nah, you're fucking up on this one, man.
Yeah, that's where I think fucking Hillary goes wrong, Trump goes wrong, because Hillary,
that's a good point.
Anyone could go to her and just be like,
you're
need
wrong
to
about
fucking
this.
Be more relatable, or you need to do this shit, and she's just like, I'm good. I'm doing it fine.
You're right. Nobody was in that room going, all right, listen, I'm going to break it down for you right now. You haven't fucking campaigned in any of the Rust Belt states. I don't know why you think you're going to win those running away, because your husband signed NAFTA, which outsourced all their fucking jobs in that part of the country. They don't like you that much. You're going to have to go campaign there. You're going to have to be more populist in your message. You're going to have to say, we need to end the wars. You're going to have to fight for Medicare for all to get your base riled up. You can't pick a boring-ass white guy to be your VP because you're already viewed as too pro-establishment, and you're going to pick a guy who represents the establishment. You need to make sure you keep your base and pick somebody who's to the left. Nobody said any of this shit. Everybody just yesed her to death, and her instincts are the worst political instincts of all time. So you're right. That's a great point. It's like you need people to be like, yo, you're fucking this up. Oh, by the way, it looks like Politicon's a go. I'm not gonna mention the name yet. Not mentioning the name yet, but there's already speculation online.
Who are people guessing?
Ben Shapiro.
I'll say it's going to be fucking fireworks.
Ben Shapiro was the biggest one that was floated.
Good guess. That's a good guess.
So we'll see. I'll see when we unveil it, but it looks like it's a go. So
that's dope.
That should be fun.
Do any like big names go there, like ex-presidents or anything like that? Like
not ex-presidents, but I feel like it's everything but that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like and that's the thing that's kind of annoying too, in a sense, is that I I feel like the crowd will be more provided by people like me, like actual young people with social media presence and stuff. But there are a lot of old school establishment people who are invited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, they might come and try and figure it out and just like, what's happening here now, but just be like so lost with what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably true. But
I mean,
it'll
I
be
feel like
interesting.
that,
I mean, listen, I've always said, and this is the same thing Jimmy Dore says, and I agree with his perspective about this. My whole thing, our whole thing is that we're outsiders. That's what we are. Like, that's the appeal of the show, is that it's just kind of...
Are you outsiders or are you just the new wave? Like, are you just how it's done now?
Outsiders. I think the new wave and outsiders. I think it's both.
Yeah, like, I mean, Comic-Con is probably like the same type of shit. There's probably like this new school, new wave, like Fortnite video game online comic crew coming through, and these old school like people who were drawing comics and doing old school shit, they get invited to it, and everything is fucking like tailor made for them, and it's like, hey, Stan Lee, we're gonna bring you on stage, or like, I don't know who a fucking old school political dude is who is just an old fart. They're like, hey, we're going to invite you to this, but here's everything's drawn out for you. You're going to come on stage, you're going to speak. And, it's almost just been taken over by the new wave that like they either adapt to that shit or they just fucking get, like booted out.
Well, see, that last part of what you said there is the thing that I don't think would ever happen, because that's the thing, is that the establishment, just by virtue of the fact that they're in the establishment, they're just considered like, oh, you're a given that you're important and you're special and you should be here. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's the thing, is like they get to coast off of the fact that they're in the establishment, where people like me would be at a thing like Politicon because I'm genuinely popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like they don't have to be genuinely popular. They can have 4 people in the country that give a shit what they talk about. You know what I mean? Whereas me, I had to effectively elbow my way into the room through sheer force of will and actually having people who like what I have to say.
So you're saying...
It's earned in our sense, but it's not for the establishment. The establishment, it's wholly unearned.
Yeah. So that would mean that they would like be wanted there or not wanted there?
In my mind, it's like they're not necessary, is my point. Like, you could have a convention, a political convention, with actually all people who are popular.
Yeah,
but, it will be a lot of people who are not popular, but they're in the establishment, so they have name recognition, but nobody really gives a shit what they have to say. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole point.
Yes.
It's like, those people, and the thing is that I'm sure that they think they're super special, and they'll all look at somebody like me and be like, who are you? Oh, that's cute. You have a YouTube channel? Like, that'll be the mindset. And it's like, but that's okay, because I like the fact that I'm an outsider. You know what I mean? Like, I like the fact that it's like, I don't want to be rubbing elbows with some asshole, nightly news contributor who probably has the most boring standard status quo opinions I've ever heard in my life.
But those are usually the most arrogant fucks that
Exactly.
If he did show up to that show, he would think he would blow it out of the water. But like if you had just say, I'm comparing it to like a baseball card show or something where like an old 70s like home run hitter is there, but there's this new like just internet sensation guy who does like home run videos or something. The old school baseball player is going to come in there and be like, you hit 50 home runs one season, and like no one's going to be at his fucking table. Whereas the internet sensation guy is going to be fucking swarmed. Same shit with the Politicon. This old fart contributor or whatever, like news desk guy, is going to be like, oh, let me go see what this is about. And if anybody runs up to me, make sure that we're not taking photos, we're not doing all this. Meanwhile, nobody gives a fuck that he's there.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to make a point. I want as many of you guys to go as possible. So get your tickets for Politicon ASAP.
Is it like a big thing online? Like, do people are people juiced up about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Comic-Con of politics. That's what it is. So you are going to see everybody from every possible ideology
So there'll probably be some fucking those Antifa, like real
I don't
right
know if
wing,
there's
real left wing.
any like famous like spokesperson or something for Antifa. I think that
Oh, really?
the left fringe, so to speak, of that thing is going to be me.
Hmm.
I'm the left guy. You know,
True.
I'm the but there will be
There's probably a lot of protests and probably shit probably gets pretty
no
routed
protest.
out there.
No,
No,
it's not protest because there's already everybody there. Like
true.
there are right wingers and left wingers there, and it's not like I don't know if there's any. I think there are going to be some politicians there, but there will be from across the aisle and stuff. So
Yeah, I guess.
So,
Yeah, it's
but-
not like it's a one-sided rally that other people are crashing or
it's
some
not
shit.
a
Everyone's
rally.
invited.
There
Yeah.
will be discussions. There will be debates. There will be speeches. There will be interviews. So I mean, it should be fun either way.
Yeah,
so
sounds
everybody
dope.
should show up. I mean, it'll be good. And then obviously, as soon as I know I can, I'll share.
You should do
the
like
deal
a
is.
like a show from there or some shit one day, or you don't
Well,
give a fuck.
No, we'll do behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do behind the scenes stuff, and but we'll also have the debate itself. Will be put up.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
You know, and whatever else I'm on. I think I'm on 2 things. I think some panel.
They're gonna end up even when you're out there. They're gonna see what's popping off, like, and people are gonna invite you on some more shit. You'll see,
Well, again, the thing is, and that's so fucked up. But I also think this is the case with like establishment respectability does not work through being actually popular, because like that's already what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not like you don't get the blessing. But because the whole appeal is that you don't have the blessing. That's the whole appeal of me.
I feel like they don't give a fuck like who the person is. They just want an agenda, and they just if you're gonna say what you want them to say, well, they'll bring you on air. More or less.
For the reason why I think I was invited is because we actually have the people. So
Yeah, no, I'm saying like CNN or some shit like that, like or Fox News. Like they bring people on who know, they're gonna speak to their points. And when you go on, you don't fit that realm.
Yeah,
you're,
that's right.
You're like, I'm gonna speak what the fuck the truth is.
Yeah.
Whereas normally it's like, okay, this show we're bringing on a left guy, we're bringing on a right guy. Right guy's gonna speak about right stuff. Left guy's gonna speak about left stuff. Or like same thing happens on ESPN. It's like they bring these people on who have a certain agenda, and you know what they're gonna talk about. Like when Tim Tebow was playing, Merrill Hodge used to be a fucking host, and he would just bash on him. So it's like even when he did something good, he's never gonna say it, and it's just like, why do you do this? Just bring someone on who's gonna fucking keep it real.
Yeah, who's gonna be honest. Exactly. Yeah,
and it's like that's why news sucks, because it's like, if you go to like CNN, it's gonna be they're gonna have their people talking about their shit, and if they do bring a conservative on, he'll tip the toe of balancing back and forth. Fox News, they're gonna have their left and right, and and that's why a lot of people. I watch Jimmy's shit. I watch Cenk talk about you, and it's just like they brought the wrong person on because Kyle's not gonna fucking be the person they want him to be. He's gonna say what the fuck he wants to say.
So I do have a little bit of an interesting follow up to the Fox News thing.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I was on, when I left, I got an email from the producer, and the producer was like, "Oh, hey, great job, thanks for coming on, appreciate it. We'll reach out to you and have you on again." That's what I got the first time. The second time, I didn't get that email. Now, what I did get is at the studio. So the show that I've been on is shot out of D.C.
Mm-hmm.
I live in New York, so I was at the studio in New York, and I was always in communication through email with the producer in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I left this time, I did not get the email from the producer in D.C. The only thing I got before I even went on air was that one of the producers, I guess, from New York was saying, "Oh, we might have you. We will have you back for the panel show on whatever day, Saturday or whatever the hell it was." So, and that was before I went on air. But I did not get that follow-up email like I did the last time from the producer in D.C. saying, "Oh, hey, we'll have you on again." It was just dunzo when I got off.
I think it could almost be some like he knows you're in the fold now, and like he fucks with you. That like
Think
it could
so?
just be like, yeah. I think it's like if you have an interview or something like that, you're gonna send that initial, thank you for meeting with me. But then if you have a second round, a third round, a fourth round interview, you're going to send a thank you fucking email after every round?
Yeah, it's a good point. Maybe it was just that, oh, he already knows the deal type thing.
Yeah,
but I also feel like that was actually way more contentious, though, too. So I felt like there's a chance they might be like, he's not a good guest because he's not playing ball. He's not, I went hard in that last one.
Yeah, but you killed the shit, and there has to be a way for them to track it where they see a spike in their fucking ratings or they see a spike in that segment where they're like, we almost can't not bring this dude back because our shit rose, so it's like.
But this is the thing. When Jank was on MSNBC, he had the best ratings in his time slot that they'd ever seen, but basically the point is they didn't care because he was pissing off the wrong people.
Yeah, well, they're fucking idiots.
Well, that's the thing is like they care more about pleasing their advertisers and pleasing their audience, and the cable news audience is mostly insiders in DC, so they care more about that than they care about the ratings. If they cared about the ratings, he would have still been on the air.
I guess so. I just, from a basing this off nothing standpoint, I feel like an MSNBC has way more eyeballs on it, and they're way more just self-conscious or like they're insecure.
I agree
so they're
with
like
that.
They're like, oh, we got to monitor everything. We lost an advertiser because Jank was being too honest, and it's like, get rid of him. Whereas Fox News is just like, we got the fucking money, we got the backing.
They do take risks. I really want to give them credit for that. Is that at least like who the fuck would have thought that they would ask me to go on? Like me on Fox News? Do you understand that like at least 15% of the videos on Secular Talk in the history of Secular Talk have been me shitting on Fox News? Like I shit on them hardcore.
Because they are that fucking girl that's just like, I don't give a fuck, and everybody's attracted to her because she doesn't give a fuck. Like she's picking her nose.
Well, the funny
she's
thing
she's farting, she's drinking with the guys.
I don't know how we got there, but that's hilarious.
They're just on there, I don't give a fuck shit, and that's usually the fucking type of person that you're like, I want to be friends with that person because they don't give a fuck.
And what's funny is that once you get that blessing of Fox, that's ironically when CNN and MSNBC will start taking you seriously, even though that shouldn't be the case. Like, because there's a lot.
Since CNN and then we'll see you on Fox News.
If Fox News hires somebody and they're a host on Fox News, they could be fucking out of their mind, crazy, and terrible at their job. But CNN and MSNBC, if that person were to leave Fox News and stop working there, CNN and MSNBC would be interested in bringing them on.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that happens with everything. Look at fucking, that'll happen with Jersey Shore, if Snooki fucking has a fight with MTV, you don't think Comedy Central would fucking hit her up and just be like,
right, but but the point is, before she was on MTV, obviously nobody gave a fuck. Like, Comedy Central would have never taken a risk on Snooki before she had already been.
Yeah, they're the ones that are ahead of the game. They're the fucking ones that are taking the chance, like you just said. They'll
roll the dice. Whereas CNN and MSNBC go safe.
Yeah, and outside of all their fucked up opinions and the fucking people they have on their air, they take chances, and those are usually people that succeed or fucking crash and burn. This fucking Laura Ingraham lady is gonna fucking. I don't know why they keep rolling her out there.
Yeah. I went after her recently on the show because I think that Tucker Carlson is actually pretty good at his propaganda. Like he does, he makes the arguments in a way where he can be somewhat convincing to somebody who's not educated enough on the issues. But Laura Ingram's just so bad at it because it's just too shrill and it's too there's no nuance in it. There's no hedging. There's no rounding off the rough edges. It's just like, oh, lefties stupid. They're so stupid.
Or just like a racist ass comment that has no backing to it, and it's just like she just wants it to say it to become national news or to cause a controversy. And it's just like, you don't even mean what you say right now. You're just saying some really fucked up shit to try and get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Like, you're not Donald Trump. So stop just trying to say some shit about LeBron James or stop
shut up
just
and
trying
dribble.
You don't. She doesn't mean this shit, and it's just like she's just saying hurtful shit just to get attention, which is just like annoying.
Well, I know, I agree with all that, and I also know that there are some hosts on MSNBC who only care about the ratings, and ironically, they have the worst ratings. That like their whole thing is like they'll come into the office and be like, okay, how do we get better ratings?
Yep.
As opposed to like somebody who does a show and actually cares about the stuff and
just
talks about the stuff.
you just do your shit.
Yeah.
That's what Howard Stern said this. He did he watched this shit with David Letterman. Yeah, and he was like, when I was with NBC, the day I dread the most was when I would walk through the hallways and the suits would come up to me and say, "Today's a big day, numbers come out," and he would be like shitting his pants. And he would always be number one, and then he would like be like, once I got that news, I just like, how do I stay number one? And he was like, when I stopped worrying about that shit and didn't give a fuck, we just skyrocketed and we stayed number one. It's just like, when you worry about all that shit, that's when you fucking just stress yourself out and you end up doing a poor show because you're just not saying genuine shit. You're saying shit like Laura Ingraham where you're just trying to be edgy for no reason.
Yeah, that's all true. Yeah, you're right. And he was the king of that. He was the king of like, when you get the sense that he doesn't give a fuck and he's just doing what he wants to do, that's attractive.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's like, when you can sense that there's some sort of weird behind the scenes calculation, it's like, oh, if I do this, because then what you're going to do is you're going to say the things that you think will evoke the reaction you want, as opposed to just saying what you think is true or what's interesting.
Yep.
Like you.
That's why Joey Diaz, people fucking love him because he just says what he feels. He's not censoring anything. He's not saying some shit because
sometimes he says shit where I'm like, oh, that's fucked up. But I'm always like, oh, Uncle Joey. Like I'm never angry about it. I'm always just like, that's Uncle Joey. He can get away with it. There's some people like that too, where it's like they have that extra level where nobody seems to get mad at them even when they'll do some or say some crazy shit. Like, remember when Charlie Sheen was running around like, I got HIV and I just snorted fucking coke off a hooker's ass. And everybody was like, oh, Charlie, you're so wacky. Like, what the fuck? Did you hear what dude just said? But there's some people that just have that extra level of like, for whatever reason, there's this quality about them where it's just like, oh, you get to do that. You get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Really? Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, and it's crazy because you see the fucking demise it does to so many. There was, when I was back on Twitter, there was like some director for some Galaxy movie or some shit that had like
Guardians
tweeted
of the Galaxy. Yeah,
some shit that he like had said something fucked up years and years ago, and people dug it up. But then there's like dudes like Michael Rappaport who like just say whatever the fuck they want, and it's like he's still getting movies, he's still doing his show on Netflix, and it's just like it wouldn't even matter if they dug up an old tweet because he would just be like, yeah, I said that shit. What up?
Exactly.
Hey.
Like, yeah, did I stutter? I don't know.
Have you seen standards?
Have you seen the thing that's been happening with Governor Andrew Cuomo from New York? Like, there's
with the New York. Oh, America was never that great.
Yeah, so he said America was never that great in like.
Is he wrong though?
So I did a segment on this. I think he's mostly correct. I mean, there are ways that where you could disagree with that. Like, obviously, you can say, and this makes perfect sense, well, I'm pretty sure we were great the day that we beat the Nazis. Now, obviously, it wasn't just us. It was also with Russia. But either, like, okay, you can make a point like that, and that's obviously true. But behind that, like, yeah, the sentiment that I always say is, like, why, whenever Trump says, oh, we're going to make America great again, the logical question should be, tell me the exact year you want to go back to when America was great. Because there is no exact year. Because we've always had giant problems in every single step of the way. Now, the whole idea is we want to try to make this country better or great. So, like, when he said that, okay, number one, he's like, not, he doesn't have good political instincts. He's kind of a dumbass just for, like, saying some shit like that and not realizing that the way he's saying it is going to get him in trouble.
The soundbite, yeah.
But then the thing that annoyed me more was, so Trump goes after him for it, which I would totally expect. But then his response was even dumber. Like, he waited like a day, which is already kind of weird because it's like it was obvious that he was calculating like what to say. And then he said, like, what makes this country great is that people reject your vile and hateful agenda.
What?
And it's like, yo, dude, you just said America was never that great, and now you're saying, oh, it is great, and it's great because it rejects your agenda. It's like, which one is it? You can't Like, you have to pick one. And I
Yeah.
tweeted the other day, I was like, here's the shit that you should have said. I'll read it for everybody now if I could find it while we're talking. But, like, I hit
I'm
him with,
torn on that though. Like I heard people bashing him, and like when he said the shit, I was just like, yeah, almost it wasn't even that. We're not even that great. Like we fucking took over from the Native Americans and all this
well,
shit,
there was slavery, there was the Native American genocide, there
yeah, you
was
can have an
segregation,
abusive
there was
father.
Jim Crow, there was obviously
Everything.
not allowing women to vote, and the list goes, bombing, fucking nuking Hiroshima and Nagasaki and killing hundreds of thousands of civilians. Vietnam, yeah, like, and the thing is, you're like, well, we're stating fucking logical reasons to back that case, but what happens is a lot of people will just shut down and be like, no, for emotional reasons, I'm gonna say that we're great, you know. But again, it's like you can make either case there. Of course, you like I just said before, we beat the Nazis, so that's great. So like, it's both things. It's both things. There are aspects of the U.S. that have been hideous, and there are aspects of the U.S. that have been great. So,
It's just a blanket statement. Like when I'm in Starbucks or some shit, and like there's a fucking white person going off on the barista, I could say to someone just like "fucking white people," and then like I'm not saying every
you're not literally
white person
saying
is
because you're white. You know,
Yeah.
of course, it's like I don't literally mean this.
but there's tons of white people that done bad shit. There's tons of white people that done good shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like it's a bad soundbite if someone took that shit and was just like fuck white people.
Well, exactly, and I feel like that's how that this was going to be used, and
Yeah.
but I feel like he should have been smart enough to know that of course they're going to use it like that. Like and his problem is he was playing to the room. He was giving a speech, and I'm sure it was a room full of fucking lefties, and he's like, "Oh, they'll get this."
Yep.
So he said it without even realizing, like, "Oh, this is obviously going to be used against me in like a very clear and obvious way."
Yeah, if you're a fucking politician, you have to know what the sound bites are, and that's what I forgot. Maybe Colbert did it, but it was just like our sound, or maybe Marr or someone, but it was like our sound bites are dumb shit like that. Their sound bites, video bites are, and they show Donald Trump repeatedly hugging the American flag, and it was just like people see that and they're like, "Oh, this guy must love America. He's fucking hugging the flag," you know. Whereas you could take the soundbite of Cuomo and it's just like America sucks. Like,
well, the patriotism wars are stupid because it's like instead of arguing over who's more patriotic, why don't we all just accept that everybody's agenda and preferred policy ideas, that's what they think makes the country great. So instead of arguing like, no, you don't even like the country, it's like, no, why don't we agree that obviously everybody likes it to an extent, trying to improve it. It's just a matter of what we should do in order to get to that position.
yeah.
Okay, so here's what I tweeted. One of the things I already mentioned. So I said better responses for Andrew Cuomo to respond to Trump when he called it out and was like, "Oh, I can't believe he said America's not that great. He's having a meltdown." Instead of saying, "It is great and it is great because it rejects your hateful agenda," he could have said, number one, what year exactly does Trump want to take us back to make America great again? Because then they can't answer that if you say that. And then number two is, did I stutter? 3 million people lost health insurance under Trump. 93,000 jobs were outsourced. Wages are down. Drone strikes are up 432%. Is that great? That's how you message.
A checkmate.
That's how you message. You have to, like, you can't say the opposite of what you just fucking said.
Yeah.
You can't say, like, "Oh, yeah, America's not that great. Oh, my God, I can't believe you just said that. America is great." It's like, wait, but you just said the opposite shit. He wants to be president so bad. He's going to do a Hillary. Like, he wants to be president so bad that it's going to be so obvious and desperate on him that everybody's going to be so turned off by him.
Oh, the fucking candidates are just going to be so muddy once it gets to the like debates and all this shit, and they're going to have like hopefully.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to lie because I'm a political junkie. I can't wait. Dude, do you have any idea how much I love when there are presidential primary debates?
Yeah, but like Hillary's going to run again and she's in a fucking.
If she runs again, I'm going to fucking die.
But there's still going to be people that are fucking going for her, and if she's going up against Bernie again or some shit, like Bernie's going to have to overtake her, and it's like. It's going to be the same fucking shit all over again, and it's just going to be people fucking beating the shit out of each other until we finally get a candidate, that's going to be tired as fuck by the time he's going to have to go up against Donald Trump and fucking deal with all that bullshit.
I mean, I feel like one of the most underrated factors in terms of somebody taking on Donald Trump, I mean, I think it's relatively obvious. You need a populist left candidate. You can't have a corporate Democrat. That's thing number one. But also, I feel like one of the things that's underrated is like that X factor where they know how to fucking talk and they know how to debate and they know how to not. Like, I feel like most politicians are so overly calculated that Trump has an advantage on that alone, that he just, like, fucking shoots from the hip. And it's like, even Elizabeth Warren, who I think would make a significantly better president than Donald Trump by a mile and a half, but even her, it's like you get this sense that she's so...
She's not responding to what they say. It's just
it's like, here's the
points.
answer that I think I'm supposed to give based off of the 8 conversations I had with my strategist about it. And it's like, that's not, with a guy like Trump, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't be like, here's my like semi-prepared thing.
Well, that's why I love Bernie so much. I love him so much. But I still get nervous sometimes, even when these people go on talk shows and all this shit.
He's
and it's
pretty
like
good, I think. I think he's the best
he's
at the
really
messaging.
good, but it's just a natural conversation where if you just say something to someone, they'll have like a genuine response. Where sometimes he has that 1% of 1%, and it's like, it's coming.
Maybe it's my bias.
Needed.
Maybe it's my bias, but I think he's the best at sticking to the substance. So I hear what you're saying. Like, sometimes it does sound a little bit like a stump speech because he goes right to here are the economic inequality statistics and yada yada. But I actually think, number one, it's coming from the heart when he talks about it. It's not like he's listening to strategists.
Yeah.
And number two, that is the exact way that I think somebody should respond to Trump, because Trump knows nothing about policy, and it's obvious. And other than that, he just launches personal attacks. So if Trump is up there launching personal attacks in a debate against Bernie Sanders, Bernie's not going to take the bait, and Bernie's going to start talking about the issues that affect the American people.
That's true.
Then you're going to see this fucking dichotomy, this juxtaposition right in front of your eyes of like serious human being who cares a lot about fixing the country and making people's lives better versus clown reality star child. And then I think that choice is clear. Whereas with Hillary,
right.
you felt like you had this really pretentious, overly calculating representative of the establishment versus a guy shooting from the hip who might, destroy the establishment just by virtue of the fact that he's an outsider.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
It's almost like Hillary isn't even listening to what he's saying and just going to say her response, whereas Bernie will at least listen to what he says and respond to that shit with some, intelligent shit. Whereas Hillary, it's like, it's going to be intelligent, but it's not going to be anything based off of what the dumb shit that Trump just said. So Bernie, like, Trump will say some dumb shit. Bernie will listen to it, be like, yeah, no, but here's the reason why. Whereas Hillary will just say whatever the fuck she wants to say, regardless of what Trump said, if that makes any sense.
There was a part of the debate when Hillary Clinton had something planned to say, and Trump gave her the opportunity to say it, and she was so happy that she was now given this opportunity to say the thing that she had planned, but it was so obvious that she was happy for that reason that the smugness that was oozing off of her was just, you couldn't even listen to what she was saying because it's like, oh, fuck, like you're just, like she was smiling and she was like, I think Donald just attacked me for preparing for this debate.
Oh.
Well, yes, Donald, I did prepare for this debate, and I also prepared to be president.
Oh.
And it was just like, oh, you planned that line out like fucking 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
And it's so obvious that you did that. And it's almost like on that alone that you could sense how over-prepared she was, that it was like, I don't like your answer now. I don't like what you just said because you're like the kid in class who over-prepared.
Or the kid in class that, like, you're reading something in language class or some shit, and it's just like, you're going to read the fourth line of the sentence or something like that. And the kid right in front of you gets up to go to the bathroom, but you perfected that one line so good that, like, it's now your turn, but you got to read the third line. You're all fucked up. Oh. So it's like you say your fourth line, and the teacher's like, what? What the fuck he took? And it's like, oh my God, I prepared so much for that fourth line. I wasn't even prepared if someone threw a wrench in there and I had to say the third line now, you know?
Yes,
It's like
100%.
she's so smart that she's like almost just fucking read. She knows everything she's gonna say. Whereas like you get a guy like Trump just fucking throwing curveballs out there like, yo, my hands are not like my dick and this and that. And she's just like, and she's just a fucking robot that combusts.
Yeah, and I think I've told this story on the podcast before, but it reminded me of when we did a mock trial in like 6th grade, and I was playing the role of like a defense lawyer, and the person who was the prosecutor like overprepared, and she was this. I feel kind of bad looking back at it, but she was this like kind of annoying girl, like stuck up and stuff. And I didn't prepare at all to be the defense lawyer, and I should have. But I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to like try to bullshit my way out of this. And like, but I ended up winning the case because I was obviously shooting from the hip, but I was just more convincing in how I was able to frame shit.
Yeah.
And she was overprepared and too by the book. And I was like, oh, I can't believe I pulled that off. That's
You probably came
like,
across as more genuine.
That's kind of like the Trump-Hillary thing.
Yeah.
Is that Hillary was like overprepared. She's a representative of the establishment. She was thriving within that corrupt system. And then here comes this dude who's just like, I don't know. What do you want me to say? Unbelievable. I'm going to make this country great. It's going to be so great it'll make your head spin.
Oh.
People are like, okay, I guess that guy.
I think it's going to be, and I hope it's going to be, this is a long shot, but I hope it's going to be Bernie. And then he takes the Cortez girl to be like his vice president or some shit. Even though
I don't
she's
think that's going to happen. She's Alexandria's brand new.
I know, but fuck it, man.
I'll take Bernie and virtually anybody as his running mate.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So there was this big news that broke a little earlier tonight, and I think we should probably discuss it.
Was it the Manafort shit?
It was it Manafort or was it Michael Cohen or was it both?
They both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Michael Cohen, I think Michael Cohen testified in court that Donald Trump ordered that Cohen pay off Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal with campaign money.
Ooh, I didn't hear that.
And and then Trump reimbursed it later on or something, but it was like, that's illegal. You can't fucking use your campaign money for personal shit. So now we're put in a position where it's like, and for Manafort, because you mentioned Manafort. With Manafort, it was
he got guilty on 8 out of 18 or some shit.
Tax evasion and bank fraud and like a whole bunch of shit. Just that dude is just a fucking career criminal type dude.
But here's my thing with fucking Paul Manafort. The guy is obviously a fucking criminal and doing all this shit. How on 18 accounts is he not 18 for 18? Like, how are there 10 things where there are fucking people on the jury like, oh, he bought a fucking, what'd he buy, a $3 million fucking rabbit suit? Yeah, this guy's guilty as fuck. Suit. It's just so, it's so crazy to fucking look at this shit, because just on the optic of just looking at this shit, like, it was breaking news. This guy was just charged with 8 out of 18 fucking crimes. He left the fucking courthouse with a smile on his face, not in handcuffs, in some fucking fresh-ass gear, and got into the front seat of a fucking Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
Whereas any black person, any Mexican person...
caught with a little bit of weed.
They're leaving with their fucking hands cuffed.
Yep.
They're leaving with 3 cops around them. They're leaving with their face covered because they're fucking don't want to show their face for some shit that's not even that bad.
Yeah.
And getting in a cop car or some shit, and they're going to fucking prison. It's just so fucked up, man. And
so
it's
what's
like,
the sentencing
he's gonna get
supposed to
pardoned
be?
Anyway.
Did you hear anything in terms of like how long he's looking at?
No, I didn't hear that shit.
It's got to be jail time, right? It
probably,
has to
yeah.
Be. Oh, actually, I did see it said up to 80 years, but they're not going to give him 80 years.
Hell, and you don't think Trump can't just fucking pardon his ass?
So this is why I wanted to talk about this, because there's a bunch of angles to this story that are really mind-boggling. So, first of all, should Trump even be allowed to
I don't think so.
Pardon somebody who's up on crimes where he is a key player in the crimes?
Yeah.
Like in regards to the Paul Manafort thing, okay, so some of that stuff, if not all of it, was not related to Trump.
Yeah.
But the Michael Cohen thing with the Stormy Daniels payment, that is directly related to Trump.
Yep.
So should he be allowed to pardon somebody for committing a crime where he played a role in the crime? I mean, that's getting dangerously close to a president pardoning himself, which puts him above the law, which would mean we don't have rule of law, which would mean we have a dictatorship.
Yeah.
So that's fucking
I don't know
crazy.
what's gonna happen, but like, he left the court smiling because he probably heard from his lawyer, oh, no big deal, Trump's gonna fucking pardon your shit anyway. You don't think in a fucking year he serves a year, you don't think people will forget, and then Trump pardons him and they forget that they were even fucking associated? You know, like, it's just people forget over time, and it's just like it's fucked up, and it's scary that that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna get pardoned, and people will forget, and he'll fucking still live a lavish lifestyle.
Well, I hope that he gets a lot of jail time.
Yeah, I don't think
by
he's
the
gonna.
way, I totally support, and I mentioned this a bunch of times. I just want to be clear with everybody. With all my skepticism on the Russiagate stuff, and I can go back and fucking tweet the segment if need be. I did a segment where when Mueller expanded his investigation, not just to the Russia stuff, but he started looking into Trump's business empire and all of his associates, I said, This is legit now, because I know that Donald Trump and Paul Manafort and Michael Flynn and all these assholes, Jared Kushner, they're all fucking deeply corrupt people.
Donald Trump Jr.
Trump Jr., yeah, all these guys are probably shitting their fucking pants. Because...
But here's my thing. I'm tired of the Mueller investigation, because what the fuck, man? Like, one, it's taking forever, and two, what the fuck's going to happen when you come out with the Mueller report?
Well, again, this is an important thing to talk about, because people were making fun of Giuliani the other day because he said you can't indict a sitting president, and people were like, there's no law that says that. But it is true that in the Constitution, you would have to impeach the president. You can't. Yeah. I don't know if it's a genuine open question as to whether or not you can indict a sitting president. So if you have to impeach Trump, well, then I don't think the fucking Republican Congress would impeach under almost any circumstance. And that means that none of this is all, like you said, this is all going to come to naught. But it's like, at least, at the very least, Mueller is successfully right now bringing down Trump's circle for legitimate reasons. Like, that's legit, man. Like, the stuff that Manafort's going down for, that motherfucker's a criminal, son. Like, that motherfucker is a criminal. And then you think there's not... I mean, I would be absolutely shocked if he didn't go after Kushner, because Kushner is also super corrupt. I've covered like 3 or 4 stories already where this motherfucker was he took $30 million from Israeli banks and then was trying to do favors for the Israeli government. He took a tremendous amount of money from Saudi Arabia, and was it Saudi Arabia or was it another, maybe the UAE? It was one of those, the Gulf countries. And then he was pushing policy that favors them. So it's like, holy shit, man. These guys are all super corrupt. Like, that's the real scandals, that entire administration is just a grab bag of corruption.
Or just off of like the basis of that shit. You don't think Jared Kushner, a young kid who's like trying to be, in with the older crowd and all this shit, you don't think he's taking advice from Paul Manafort while they're on the election trail, or, like taking tips from him on shit, and there was no shady shit going on there? Like, there has to be some dirt on Jared Kushner that they could find.
No, there 100% is. In fact, I'll predict it now. I will predict there will be a Jared Kushner indictment from Mueller. I'm predicting that right now.
That's bold.
I'm predicting that right now, because
that's a good prediction.
There's just way too many. There's way too much dirt on him, and I'm not going to make this prediction, but I think it could be made that there might be charges on Donald Trump's kids, some of his kids.
That would be great.
Eric or Don Jr. or whatever the fuck.
There's got to be some shit that like he's found, but I'm surprised that none of that has leaked out already. Like, we're just waiting for one day.
We've had a steady stream of indictments so far, and don't get me wrong, I think some of them are bullshit. Like when he indicted the fucking 12 Russian trolls that were bought like a couple $1,000s worth of Facebook ads. Oh, please, they give me a fucking break. He's indicting people who will literally never see a day in a U.S. court, so that's all for show, and that's stupid. But again, the Manafort shit is totally real. Flynn shit is totally real.
Who was it? Was it
Cohen
Rogan that maybe said
totally real? What's that?
Was it Rogan that said like you put a fucking microscope on or a camera on anybody's lives for however long, you're gonna find them running a stop sign or breaking the law somehow? Like, you can find someone break it. Everyone breaks the law. It's just a matter of like how much they did or how much they want to charge them for.
And the federal conviction rate is through the roof. So if they're coming after you, you're going to prison. Like if the feds do it, I think the state level it's a different thing, but the feds, you're just
who even is Robert Mueller? Is he a Democrat? Is he a Republican? Is he? Who the fuck is he?
This is the other thing about, and many other people won't admit this, but it's true. He's like, he was one of the people who was pushing the fucking Iraq war shit.
Oh, really?
Saddam has weapons of mass destruction type shit. So I think he's been in government for a long time. Let me look up exactly what it is that he did before.
I mean, like, how the fuck did this guy get so much power? Like, we're all just waiting on this magic book that he's going to fucking release, and, like, it's just going to have all this glorious shit in there.
Oh, okay. This is what he is. Robert Mueller. His middle name is Swan? What the fuck? Robert Swan Mueller III is an American attorney who served as the 6th director of the FBI from 2001 to 2013. So he was the FBI director under George W. Bush and Barack Obama.
Okay.
And he's a conservative Republican, apparently. He was appointed by George W. Bush, and Barack Obama gave his original 10-year term a 2-year extension to make him the longest-serving FBI director since J. Edgar Hoover. Okay, so this guy's no angel, because the FBI, like, this is the thing that's been annoying me a lot lately, is that so many people who are on the left have suddenly become very much pro-FBI and CIA, because there are some elements in the FBI and the CIA who are not fond of Donald Trump. And it's like, yeah, but you do realize that not liking all of them is an option, right? You do realize that just because Trump is full of shit doesn't mean that the CIA and the FBI are suddenly truth tellers. They've always been full of shit, and they've always been doing fuckery behind the scenes. So I don't trust this motherfucker, but I think that some of his indictments and some of his targets it makes sense to go after them.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on with the guy. And yeah, he has some indictments, but like, what is he doing every day? It's like he's doing some shit. Like, I'm just confused. But yeah, I'm just confused by the whole fucking situation.
I mean, I don't blame you. There's too many moving parts to it. Like, I don't think all of it makes sense. I think some of his actions have been total bullshit. I think that some of it has been legit. I think that nobody really knows where it's going to go because, like I said, I don't even know if you can indict a sitting president. So it could all be for naught at the end. It could all be a waste. I mean, I guess at the end he could recommend impeachment or something, but the Republican, exactly. That's going to be the Republican response too. They're going to be like,
yeah,
please.
Like, after fucking a year of this investigation, Donald Trump's a bad dude and he did some, bad shit.
Yeah.
Here's some facts on it.
Or what if it's just, here are all the people who are guilty of some shit, and it's just not Trump. Like, that's possible too, that it's just kind of like a shrug for Trump, but everybody around him falls.
He's definitely sitting in his room or wherever the fuck he does work, and he's like, fuck, man, a lot of people relying on me, and like he's just playing solitaire on his computer or like Roller Coaster Tycoon or some shit.
Yeah, like it's possible he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing too. Like,
yeah, does the guy speak?
I mean, he did indict fucking Twitter trolls, literally. Like he indicted Facebook or Twitter trolls.
Really?
Yeah, like that's the shit that I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Indicting people who will never see a day in U.S. court. They called them like Russian meddling in the election. It was like one troll farm, and they weren't even fucking effective. Not many people even saw the ad, and it wasn't even like I saw one article that was like, it's not even what they're claiming it is. It was like, it was all for ad purposes, and it wasn't for like for actual election meddling. It's not like Vladimir Putin is directing these fucking Twitter trolls.
Does he do any sit-down interviews or anything? I've never heard Mueller speak.
The only time I've heard him speak is when he was pushing for the Iraq war.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with like Kushner. It's like these people think that these guys are so fucking smart because they never speak.
Kushner's not smart.
No, I know he's not smart. But like you wouldn't know that because it's like he never gives any speeches or anything. But when he does, he's an idiot.
And also he shouldn't be in his position. Neither should Ivanka.
No.
You just shouldn't. Like you're just the son-in-law. That's why you're in the fucking White House? But I think they revoked his security clearance. Like
yeah, that guy could still go where the fuck he wants. He's still got money. Yeah, he's still got planes. He could do whatever the fuck. The security clearance doesn't mean dick.
Yeah. I mean, he's the stepson of Donald Trump. So
I was actually in the same room as them. I saw when I worked the All-Star game for Madison Square Garden, Ivanka was there with Jared in like this VIP lounge that I
You
was in.
didn't know who they were at the time, right?
I mean, I knew Ivanka, because I mean, I knew that was Trump's daughter, but
Sure.
I just thought it was some fucking dickhead guy that she was with. I didn't know that it was like Jared Kushner.
Was he tall?
No, I think she was taller than him. But I was also in a room with, it was like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in the room, so it was like all
Oh, that's pretty cool.
basketballers. Like, but like if I would have known that now, it would have been just to see that relationship of him just being a little bitch probably next to her. I think that's what it was. Like she wanted to walk somewhere and like he was just like a little puppy dog just following her around because
Yeah, I believe that.
you think he's got a fucking say in anything in that relationship?
Nah, she's probably more assertive.
Like he probably isn't even beating that shit.
I mean, it's his wife. He's definitely fucking her.
Nah, probably not though. And
You
if
think
he
they
is,
have some weird,
actually,
like our rampant speculation? You think they have some weird swingers relationship? Like he gets like some giant muscular dude to just fuck his wife, and he beats off in the corner.
I bet you the Secret Service dude is hitting that shit, and like, because he's not hitting that shit, right?
Sorry, phone's going off.
Can't be.
I like how you mentioned how you were in the room with them before. For those of you who don't know, I literally have a phone full of pictures of Corin with celebrities. Just
Yeah, I do tend to see a lot of celebrities.
Well, yeah, because you worked at Madison Square Garden for the Knicks.
Yeah.
And so you would every time you worked, it would be like, boom, picture with Fabulous the rapper.
Yeah.
Who else did you picture? Of one of the dudes from The
50
Walking Dead.
Cent.
Picture
Yeah,
with 50
Walking Dead,
Cent.
dude.
Nelly? Did you get Nelly once?
No, Nelly.
No, not Nelly.
Taylor
got
Swift.
Charles Barkley, Taylor Swift.
Shaq.
When you sent me the Taylor Swift one, I was like, holy shit.
She hooked it up. Like she was down for the picture too. Like she had mad security guards, and I hit her with like, "Can I get a picture?" And she grabbed my shit. And I mean, she's a pro at it. She knew how to do the selfie right away. Like,
But that's nice of her. She could have just not responded and just
for
walked.
sure.
Yeah.
She was mad cool. She took like mad photos too. And Hillary Duff did the same thing too. I saw her at a hockey game one time.
You never sent me hers.
No, I got her shit on my phone. That's the secret stash. But I sort of like I felt like a G a little bit because a couple people went up to her and she was like, "Nah, not right now," because she was like just started dating a player on the Islanders. And I went up to her. I was like, "Can I get a picture?" She was like, "Yeah, let's take one real quick." So I was like, "Oh shit, she's trying to get this dick." So
imagine she's watching now and she posts in the comments like, "You're right. That's what I was trying to do."
Speaking of her, fucking Ashley Simpson's getting the show on like Comedy Central or E or some shit. Remember she was like lip syncing?
She went away when she fucked up on lip syncing. She started like doing a jig or something.
She was on SNL, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Was it SNL?
Or like Jimmy Fallon or some shit. No,
I would almost rather
Jimmy
get
Fallon.
caught lip syncing than be on some like Mariah Carey shit on New Year's when your voice just sounds like fucking ass.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'd rather get caught lip syncing than.
And can you blame someone for lip syncing on like Saturday Night Live?
Nah,
like,
but obviously you can blame her for forgetting her fucking lyrics. That was the problem.
Yeah. Oh
she
yeah.
forgot her lyrics and she had to like do a little dance and just like.
But then again, these fucking people have so many songs. Like when Puff Daddy's doing like a concert or some shit, they got to remember words from rap songs from like 1999, and it's like you got to remember every fucking line, and if you fuck up, it's a rap.
Well, that's why you got to do that trick where you play the song and then you sing along with yourself if you're that artist. Because
that's what she was doing.
What? No, I thought that it was just the music and she was trying to sing her song just to the instrumental. No,
was that it? Or
I thought that's what it was. I could be wrong. I really don't
think it was like the song was playing in the background,
and she forgot even though she was singing in the shit.
Yeah, I think she.
That
and then,
is
like,
embarrassingly bad.
Yeah, like kept playing, but she was like not singing to it, and people were like, "Hold on, what?"
That's embarrassingly bad. Like you got to remember it if you can hear yourself singing it.
Yeah,
because I've been singing along to songs in the car or something. And like I always remember the lyrics if the person's singing it, but if you just give me the instrumental, I'll fuck it up at some point.
Oh, hell yeah! Or the beat or some shit. That's why I have mad respect for like, look at Nelly if he's still doing concerts or like In Sync. Your sister met the Joey Fatone dude. Like he's had a full like he was what 17 or some shit when he was doing In Sync, like learning all those songs. He had a full fucking life. Now he's like whatever 38, 40s, whatever the fuck he is. He's got his fat boy hot dog stand or whatever the fuck he does. Fat ones.
I have no idea what it's called.
Oh,
Fat
yeah,
dicks.
I think it's fat. But like his fucking boys hit him up, like Justin Timberlake on the drop of a dime, like, yo, Fatone, we're doing a tour. It's on me. And it's like, fuck, I need to remember every single song from when we were 17.
Nah, that shit he can remember. The thing that I don't know how they do is dance. Like, how the fuck do you dance to all different songs with the choreographed shit where you all have to do the same shit?
And they're definitely not in shape anymore.
No, there's no way they're in shape anymore. Hell no. That shit was probably hard enough when they were in their 20s. Never mind now.
Yeah, true. That shit must take so much out of you. I got a little respect for, like, if someone was like, you want a day in the life of a Backstreet Boy or some shit, and you got to, like, do back-to-back dances for 2 hours straight while singing, while fucking, like, running up on people on the stage or whatever, you know?
Yeah, and we spoke about this before a long time ago, but that whole shit became popular because the dude who set it up was this pedophile who just wanted access to kids.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman, I think his name was.
Ugh.
He wanted access to kids, and he thought, okay, how can I? Oh, I got it. I'll be this big time music producer that puts together these successful bands and then get them and make them popular. And I guess he was able to do it where he had the connections and he hired the right people to get the right choreographers and get the right songwriters and shit.
Yeah.
And he made so many groups fucking popular, but he was doing it all for access to kids.
Yeah, it's so fucked up.
Isn't that fucked up? That's fucking crazy how that happens.
Ugh. Yeah, that's like the fucking priest shit. I mean,
So
it's
in a
like,
weird
become a
way-
priest, you'll get access to kids.
In a weird way, some perverted pedophile is the whole reason why we even know about NSYNC or Backstreet Boys and why they even exist. It was
Yeah.
all because some creepy perverted pedophile put it all together. It's like, what? What a mindfuck that is. Justin Timberlake is famous for that reason.
Yeah.
Like, Justin Timberlake is Justin Timberlake because some fat, horny dude saw him and was like, yes, I'll put him in a band with all these other kids. Yes.
Yeah.
Damn, son, that's crazy.
That's how everyone fucking starts their career. I mean, like,
From
this
pedophiles?
guy- from pedophiles, yeah. No, from fucking creeps or some shit, or like, or someone who's trying to get something out of you. So like Chris Pratt was on like Kelly and Ryan or whatever, and he was like a waiter at a what's that, Bubblegum Shrimp or some shit in Hawaii, and he said he got discovered by like this female director or some shit, and they were like sort of pressing him on how that happened. And the fucking female director definitely just wanted to fuck him and was like, hey, are you an actor? And was like, oh, yeah, sure. All right. Sleep with me and you'll become an actor.
Well, that's the Harvey Weinstein
no one does
thing.
that. Yeah,
Harvey
no one does
Weinstein.
that shit out of the genuine fucking kindness of their
Yeah.
heart.
Nobody looked at him and was like, you would make a good actor.
Yeah, fuck no. I mean,
Yeah.
like, she wanted some buns while she was in Hawaii, found a good-looking fucking act. She was like, have you ever acted before? You look like an actor or some shit. Like, what the fuck does an actor look like? It's a good-looking dude that you're trying to get some dick in Hawaii. So you can tell him you have that access to shit. You just got to give me that dick.
So there's an upside and a downside to that. I mean, the downside is obvious. It's not a real meritocracy. The upside is if you're really down and you just want to fuck your way to the top, that's possible. If that's how you want to do it, you could do it.
For only good-looking people, it doesn't happen for ugly people.
That's a good point. But I mean, I guess I'm sure there are directors who will fuck anybody.
No.
No?
You saw the Harvey Weinstein list. He's not fucking with, like, what's her name? The girl from Bridesmaids, Melissa McCarthy. She had to work at a Starbucks and actually fucking get a break.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Like,
it's
he
not a
was fucking Sandra
meritocracy.
Bullock and
It's
all those
whoever fucks their
motherfuckers.
way to the top.
Yeah.
But even do you think it's a meritocracy for the guys too, or are they fucking some high-powered female?
Well, I mean,
Or
I
sucking
wouldn't,
some dick?
I wouldn't think that director was very good looking if she like had to hit on Chris Pratt, unless she was just like on vacation or some shit. Like, good looking dudes probably got to put up a fight also for some roles or some shit with some ugly ass directors.
It's a weird business, man. Can you imagine like standing in front of people and trying to get their approval when you audition? Just
Nah.
like, okay, what do you want me to do to make you like me? Like, that's
Yeah.
the whole point, is like, I'm going to need to make you like me.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to do on the spot. Like, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, get me to like you. I wouldn't know what the fuck to say in that situation.
No.
Like,
Here,
what?
judge me. Yeah. Critique me.
you want me to like you, and I need to do something right now to make you like me? Like, what? All I could think of is like maybe bring you some food or some shit. Like, I can't. I don't know how to do like a song or dance or fucking read the lines.
That would probably get you the role if you moved to like LA and you're an aspiring actor or some shit. To all of our like LA listeners that are aspiring actors and actresses, just bring some White Castle into your fucking interview.
If they have White Castle in LA.
Or yeah, some In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. Oh.
Just bless the whole fucking interview crew with that shit. Bless the front desk lady. Bless the security guards. Bless like the intern that walks you to the room, because they're all gonna walk in and be like, that guy was mad nice. He brought us In-N-Out. And he had a good ass interview.
I want that right now.
People just want shit. Like, just fucking hook them. Like, when you go to an interview, hook the dude up who's interviewing you with like a Five Guys burger and a fucking fries. You think he's gonna fucking be tight that you brought him that shit?
Oh my god, I'm so hungry for that right now. Why do you keep mentioning Five Guys and In-N-Out?
That's like a good ass idea. If my next interview, I'm bringing like some Taco Bell or some shit in a bag. I'm gonna just put it on the counter and be like, "That's for you, my man. Let's get the interview started." He'll be like, "God,
I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat."
Unless they're a vegetarian.
And then you'll be like, "Okay, I'll eat that shit."
Yeah.
Did you see they came out with a new Gordita Crunch? Oh.
No.
It's got, so you know how the Gordita Crunch is made, right? With the cheese. The soft shell taco is melted to the hard shell taco with cheese, and then it's just a taco. But this time, wildly unnecessary, but this is hot. They glued the soft shell taco to the hard shell taco with cheese and meat.
Here's my beef with Taco Bell. No pun intended.
There's a mean pun in there.
Some people say that Taco Bell, their cheese shit, they OD on like the cheese too much. Like they'll just fucking like a swab of like nacho cheese in their shit. One person said it who was from California.
Fuck that person. That shit is not true at all. Taco Bell is magically
they just
delicious.
Bounce that cheese in that shit though. Whereas like Del Taco, they'll disperse their shit. They'll fucking.
I don't know. I like both of them. We had Del Taco. We had Taco Bell. I think both of them are delicious. Tell you the truth, it really is very similar. I know that people think there's a difference. It is very similar. I remember I had the equivalent of the Gordita Crunch from Del Taco, and I was like, this is kind of like Taco Bell.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I like the Gordita Crunch better from Taco Bell, but other shit from Del Taco I think was better than the other shit from Taco Bell.
Taco Bell's also like the Fox News of this shit. They're not afraid to take chances with their shit. They'll come out with some
No, you mentioned this before, that they're always coming up with bangers. They brought back the nacho fries that people were nutting over the nacho fries. They were like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten in my life.
They do shit. They do common sense shit. They'll just be like, oh, you like nacho cheese Doritos? Well, we turn that shit into a shell. Be like, oh, you like guacamole? Well, I'm surprised. They're going to come out with some like guacamole some shit just because everybody fucks with guacamole.
I bet you they do. I bet you're right. They have this like these little cinnamon bite things. I don't know if you ever had them.
I've had those.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. Is that the one with like the fucking like jizz in the middle of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got the jizz and it's
it's made by Cinnabon. Like they partnered with Cinnabon.
Yeah, it's like a Cinnabon thing.
They partnered with Cinnabon. They're just genius.
What?
Yeah, they do shit. They do real shit. Like they're not fucking around.
Damn, man.
They're like Cinnabon is banging. That's why like they'll come out with some White Castle taco or some shit in the near future.
This is why I'm gonna die young, because I'm a sucker for fast food, man. I just love fast food. I'm like Trump in that respect.
But I fuck with Taco Bell because they take those chances. Like there's some shit on the menu where you're like, God damn, that's genius.
Genius.
Whereas like Del Taco, they could almost be like the MSNBC of the shit, where it's just like, you're going to get your tacos, your burritos, your quesadillas. Occasionally you'll see some random shit on there.
To people in California, are there ever commercials where Del Taco comes out with some hot new shit?
They're
I don't think there is either, but I'm curious because we don't live there, so we don't get the commercials if there are commercials, you know?
True. And Sonic is almost like, they're like the Alex Jones of the shit.
Still never had Sonic, man.
Oh, you never had Sonic?
Still never had Sonic.
But you've seen commercials.
I've seen commercials, yeah.
They're like the Alex Jones, where sometimes they're doing some OD shit where it's like, here's a hot dog slushie, where here's your slushie, we're going to throw a hot dog in it. And you're like, what the fuck
are you doing? Did you just tell me that shooting was fake? Like, that's what that is.
They do shit like that, but they have people that are diehards for them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You mentioned Instagram before. I just want to let everybody know that That is not my Instagram.
Yeah, there's an account.
There's
that's
a Secular Talk
pretty popping,
Instagram.
right?
It's not my. It's not me. It's not me. It's somebody doing a Secular Talk Instagram.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Fuck that person.
I mean, I have mixed feelings about it. I mean, as long as they're
secular.talk.
yeah, as long as they're just
Shit's got almost 6,000 followers.
yeah, they're
923 likes on on the last photo of you beating your chest like a fucking gorilla.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean,
it's a crying emoji face, like a laughing crying. Like it's not harmful shit.
Yeah, the only thing is I just wish that they would clarify that it's unofficial. But other than that, they keep doing it. I got no problem with that.
They merged your face with Tony Stark.
Who the fuck is Tony Stark?
From Iron Man. Can you see that?
That looks just like me.
No, but they did your face on it.
I know, but it looks just. Oh, okay. You're just saying my face is on Iron Man.
He does sort of look like you.
Oh, okay.
And they gave credit to someone. Amelia, Michigan State.
Holla for $1.
Yeah, they hook you up.
I'm hungry now. I want Taco Bell. God damn it.
Should I follow this shit or no?
It's
They should throw in the.
Yeah, just put that it's unofficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put for people who are listening to this. Is there a way to let people know on Instagram to talk to them or some shit to comment?
I mean, I could comment on a photo, but then I'd be that guy like, this isn't a real page.
Yeah, but I just want him to put like, hey, it's unofficial.
No. There's like a little bio. It's YouTuber, 550K subs, original host of the Kyle Klinsky Show.
Yeah, but see, I don't. That's the one issue I have with it is that they make it seem like it's me when it's not me. That's the one issue I have with it.
So underneath that, it should say like.
No, the first thing should be like the unofficial account of Kyle Klinsky.
Yeah.
Fan-made account or something like that.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I got no problem with people doing some shit like that. I'm not a stickler for copyright shit. I've never once done a strike on anybody else's shit for using my videos. Even if people that's Paul Ryan. Even if people critique the shit out of me and my videos in there, I never do a strike. I leave it up.
This is not even you unless this is you and I don't know that this is you. Throwback picture of me and my cousin Chris. That's not you.
No, that's not me. What the fuck are they doing, man? See, that's getting creepy as fuck.
Yeah, I've never really looked at this shit. Oh, but I'm on it.
That's fucking creepy. How you gonna show? That's us. Not even that long ago.
No, that was a banger from I think last time I was in New York.
Tweeted it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just throw a fucking shit on there.
Yeah, just say, hey, unofficial.
Yeah.
Account or fan account, fan made account, something like that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. That's it.
I could throw him a message like, "Yo, what are you doing, my man?"
No, but we don't have to be dicks about it. Just let him know.
No,
like,
I wouldn't be a dick.
You know?
Like on some, I would never press him, but I would just be like, "Yo, like, what's like, what's up? Don't be a douche." Don't like a fucking old Italian grandfather. Like, hey, get your head on straight.
Should I actually get one of those Instagrams? I mean,
I love Instagram.
You love it, and I trust your judgment, and I feel like I've heard other people say the same shit about Instagram.
I think it's worth it. I mean, like, people want to see if you could put a picture of, like, you know, your fucking legs at the studio or some shit like that.
My dick. Want to see my dick?
That too. Yeah. No, but like, just some. I don't fucking know. I like it. I like posting pictures.
Did you get back Twitter or no? Did you bring it back?
I'm still off that shit.
That's fucked up, man. That's not right.
I've been off that Facebook and Twitter. So if you've tweeted shit at me, I haven't seen it. You need to call my cell phone and let me know it.
I'm a fucking Twitter head.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but like, some people. I've got nothing against people that are with Twitter. It's just it was taking up too much of my time and like.
Was it really? You feel like it was taking up too much of your time?
Yeah, I was waking up, checking it. Like, I mean, I just overcompensate that with Instagram, so I'll be on that shit way more.
Do you think Facebook is going to fall off at some point and be like... I do. I kind of do, too. I'm getting that feeling now, too. That, like...
Facebook's just fizzling out. It's just weirdos on there. Because
when MySpace was at its height, everybody was like, oh, shit, MySpace is never going anywhere. And then that shit just went away. Mm-hmm. And then Facebook is like... It's like MySpace, basically. It's a similar thing.
Same path, yeah.
So it's like, what's to keep that from just fucking imploding? I mean, but then again, I guess Twitter, the same shit could happen, But I just like Twitter, so I feel like it wouldn't happen with Twitter. But
Yeah,
that's
but
based on
Twitter,
nothing.
yeah, Twitter, I don't think it would happen as much because it's like there's still parameters around it. There's a certain amount of characters you can write. There's you can't really
Yeah,
OD
but
on
they're
pictures.
gonna
Facebook is
gradually
just a free
change
for
it.
all.
They're gonna gradually change that on Twitter, though.
What,
Like,
where you could just start writing
yeah,
books?
because that's the problem with these companies is that they feel like they have to keep changing in order to
That's
keep
true.
growing, and then in the process of changing it, oftentimes you fuck up the original thing that made your product good.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's the thing. But I
But
just like
there
the
is a
platform.
fine line. I mean, eventually you do got to change shit. I mean, there's a rare cases like a
Yeah, you
fucking
can't keep
Walter's hot
everything.
dog stand that is just hot dogs and fries.
You can't keep everything exactly the same. No, you have to change some things, but it's just that's a hard line to walk. Is like, when have I
Yeah.
gone too far where I fucked it up? You
Yeah.
know? And I feel like with a lot of because now everybody's prodding Jack to like, oh, you have to do more banning. You have to like kick more people off the platform. And it's like the fact that he's even entertaining that conversation, I think, is a huge problem.
Oh,
Because
he is?
yeah, we need to make sure that we have a safe community free of harassment and this and that. And it's like, we have the block button already. We have mute. We have these tools at our disposal. And yes, if there's some sort of direct threat that's being sent to somebody, then yes, Twitter should be dealing with that and fucking kicking people off the platform if they're doing direct threats and shit. But like, to ever go beyond that is just too much. And that's what they're asking them to do now, and it's like they're begging him to do it, and it's like then Twitter's going to be ruined because it's only going to be eventually it will become a place where all you could do is
Say
say
positive shit.
safe positive shit, and it's like, well, no, that's not what made this good. What
Yeah.
made this good was that you could say anything.
Yeah, and that's where Facebook's at. I mean, it's like their commercials now are just like we're getting back to smiles and the likes and
And
loves.
they fucked
it's
over
like,
a lot of people, man. Hey, listen, if secular talk started as mostly a Facebook shit, we'd be fucked right now because overnight one night, Facebook decided, oh, we're no longer gonna have news and politics prioritized in our algorithms. So there were companies that were news focused that were big Facebook pages, and then overnight their shits were destroyed because Facebook started prioritizing, like you said, oh, your friends and your family, and not news stuff anymore. Like, we're hiding the news stuff now. So it's like, that really fucked people over. And because they just decided one day, oh, we were getting too much shit from the government about there's fake news and it's bad. And
Facebook is the definition of fucking trying to do too much. It's like, just chill, bro. Like, don't allow everything. Just put some fucking regulations on who's advertising, but stop micromanaging every fucking little detail. Like Twitter OD'd a little bit when they expanded the characters. People were like, hey,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Stop changing the shit, bro.
I still don't think they should have done that.
No, and it's just like now, like you're already saying that they might change that shit again so you could write more. It's
Well, I don't
just
know
like,
if they changed that part, but I feel like they've been changing a lot of shit.
oh, really?
Yeah, and the stuff Jack says is scaring me because he's not like equipped for that job. Like, I feel like
Who's the guy, Jack? He's like the CEO of
he's
Twitter.
the
or
CEO
something?
of Twitter. Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. Like, if I was Jack, I would view what's happening right now as a perfect opportunity to explain to people why free speech is awesome. But he's not. He's like walking on eggshells, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. We should stop. We should make more rules and kick more people off and blah blah
Jack,
blah blah."
don't
blah.
become the next fucking Tom of MySpace, dude. Just stay in your lane and just,
He looks like shit too. It looks like he's been under pressure recently.
really.
Yeah, he does. He looks
Does he
like
do
shit.
interviews and shit?
Yeah, he's been doing them recently. He
Really?
hadn't done them for a while, but now I feel like he's been everywhere.
Yeah, man. Once people start fucking getting themselves out there, people start digging shit up on you. They get tired of you, and it's just like your shit'll fucking collapse, bruh.
Yeah, and he's getting it from every side now. Is coming after him.
But then if Twitter dies, there'll be some next shit. Like fucking who knows
There's
what the
always,
next
yeah,
shit's
there's
gonna
always
be.
some next shit, but
I remember fucking Rogan tried to get behind something that like it was like another picture social media shit that like had no algorithm to I don't know, and it was just all pictures, but the shit never caught on.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that it's hard. There's been some people attempting to do like a YouTube thing, but some of them already have collapsed. There was
Oh, really?
vid.me or something, and then that just went away.
Is Twitch just for video games? Do
No,
they do
Twitch is
video?
expanding. They used to be just for video games. And actually, Twitch, as far as a competitor to YouTube goes, Twitch I feel like is the best potential
Yeah, I mean, I know it for
competitor.
video games, and a lot of people watch it on their phone, and there's an app, and
That's how I know it too, is that one of my cousins says he watches shit on Twitch all the time. And I know that they reached out to somebody I know, and then the person I know tried to reach out to me to go talk to them.
it could be a new fucking channel. All you need is the competition to get YouTube nervous, and they start fucking up. They're like, we gotta stop fucking with shit.
That is a good point, but I mean, I think Twitch is new to other shit that's not video games.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
but at least it seems like they're trying to fucking find some roadmaps and to get
Yeah, and they're
into that
popular
channel
because of the video
politics
game
and
shit.
Yeah,
They're popular because of the video game shit. It's a very popular platform.
yeah. All you need is one person from one big name from sports or something to hop on there, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll do a show," and then they get a political person, and it's like they call TYT, and they're like, "Hey, do your politics show here." We got you could say whatever you want.
I wonder
You're
if
gonna
these
make the same fucking
see,
revenue,
The
whatever.
other thing is exclusivity, though. These people probably want. Who knows? You know what I
What do you,
mean?
what do you mean?
Like I don't know. In the case of Twitch, I'm just saying that oftentimes a lot of these companies, they're like, oh, here and only here. That's what we would want you to do, and it's like,
Oh, so
oh my
like you
god, a
couldn't
commercial
do.
for Taco Bell.
Oh, I've been fighting it, man. I made mad meatloaves, and I'm going strong.
Oh, so you've been on low carbon?
But I'll be in Texas, so I'm gonna fucking house barbecue food. Oh god
Yeah, but
damn.
if you just have ribs,
No, I'm gonna just have sauce and fucking drown that shit in sauce.
so you're low carbon right now.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan would be proud of you.
I'm feeling good. Although there was a study in an elevator that I was in that says if you do low carb, you have a 4-year less lifespan than someone else.
Rogan's been on a tear trying to debunk that. He's like, that's a bullshit study.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was. I saw some of his tweets. He was clearly pissed off about it, and he was like, this is misleading, and here are the reasons why it's misleading.
Huh.
I don't know anything, guys. I'm not giving an opinion on this. I know nothing about
I mean,
diet.
yeah, I mean, if there's studies,
All I know for sure is that when I did low carb, weight melted off of me.
yeah.
You
I mean, I feel
immediately
better on
lose,
this shit.
You immediately lose like whatever excess fat you have. It just goes away immediately. But
Yeah.
I that's not to say anything at all about the health benefits or downsides of it.
Yeah.
I know that there have been allegations that when you do a low carb diet, that I mean, obviously you have to have protein, high protein and high fat or moderate fat, and sometimes that increases your cholesterol.
Oh.
But that it's still I know nothing about the diet, so I'm not going to pretend to.
Yeah, neither. I don't know enough about it either. When I'm 60, I'll probably not be doing the diet, and I'll be eating all this shit again. But for now, I feel good on it, and everybody goes in and out of diets, even fucking
Everybody.
vegans.
Everybody does that. 100%.
No fucking vegans or gluten freeers or whatever. At some point in 10 years, they're going to be eating some chicken or a steak or some shit, and they're going to be like, yeah, I gave it up. I couldn't do it. Just because they're going to be told by a doctor or somebody who's just like, you got to have some meat, bro. You can't fucking do this without meat.
I hear that if you're vegan, you have to eat a lot of beans because that's how you get your protein. You have to eat a lot of beans. You can't be vegan and not eat beans, basically.
But then I'm sure the doctor will say you're eating too many beans or you've had too many beans that's affecting this in your fucking blood cell or some shit. Like there's always you've had too much of something because you haven't had enough of something,
Yeah, there's upsides and downsides to everything.
Sure. Yeah, it's like you can't just substitute something else in. Like because I don't eat meat, I can't just eat pizza for the rest of my life. There's consequences for eating 40,000 pizzas. Like I'm sure you can't just eat beans for the rest of your life because something's gonna happen. You're gonna fucking fart your brains out. That's for sure.
Oh, speaking of that, I've seen this dude eat. There was a story about a dude who only eats pizza.
Like he's gonna die in 2 years.
He's literally done nothing but eat pizza for like years. That's all he eats.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
He
Or
probably
he's
is
gonna have
gonna
a
die.
fucking heart attack or cholesterol or some shit.
There's got to be something wrong with that.
Well, they say like Kobayashi and Joey Chestnuts, who do all the hot dog eating contests and eat like 80 hot dogs, they say they just eat like salads throughout the whole year, but then that one day they just OD on hot dogs.
I mean, that shit is disgusting no matter what they eat the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck they have to either throw it up or something, because that's not, you can't, if you eat 1,000 fucking hot dogs, you can't shit it all out.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, yeah, they have to throw up afterwards.
They
I mean,
have
like
to.
if I
What, are you
wouldn't
going
even
to
want to
digest all of those hot dogs and then shit it out?
Can't. It's just not. You can't. All of that sitting in your stomach is just.
If I eat 2 hot
weird.
dogs, I'm like, I'm full.
Yeah.
They eat how many hot dogs? Like, what's the record?
I think it's like 75 or 78 or 80 or some shit.
How is that possible?
And the record just keeps going up and up. Like it's like every year they're breaking the record.
Somebody's going to die, man. There was some
Someone
person,
probably will die on stage.
some person called into a radio show and there was some sort of like competition or whatever to win tickets to something, and who could drink the most water, and the person died. They drank too much water, they died. So you're telling me if somebody eats 80 fucking hot dogs, they're not risking their life? Of course they're risking their fucking life. How do you
Yeah, I
eat
don't
it?
know.
Your stomach's going to fucking burst.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one has died on the fucking hot dog eating stage yet. Or like, yeah.
And why is
I mean,
that a
they-
competition? What a stupid competition.
Yeah, America, July
Just eat
4th.
as much
it's
as
our
possible, yeah. Like that's equivalent to like who could take the biggest shit. Like let's have a shitting contest.
What else? Who would do? I mean, I feel like Ireland on their Independence Day, it's just drink as many beers as you can, or some shit would be like, or like you go to Italy and it's like eat as many cannolis. I'm
Definitely
just being
die
mad
from drinking
stereotypical.
contest. Yeah, cannoli contest.
Just going through every stereotype.
Damn, I'm fucking starving, man. Fuck.
I ate before I came on air. Maybe that's why. I feel like my brain was working a little bit better today, but I always probably say shit that just makes no sense.
No, you don't. When did you start low carbon?
Probably been going for like a month now or something, a little more than
so
a
you're
month.
way over that hump of like the initial.
Oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good right now.
So the withdrawal from sugar and from carbs was like, I wonder, for like a few days you were probably like, I feel like shit, but then you start feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, I sent you the photo of that candy aisle in Forever 21.
Yeah.
And
You were like-
it looked phenomenal, but I wasn't really tempted by it. Like, I wasn't like, I gotta have one of those, even though that shit looked banging.
That's good. That means you're significantly over the hump. Because that's
But my
how I am
hotel-
with like cigarettes since I quit smoking a
Oh,
while
yeah.
ago.
Speaking of cigarettes, I knew someone. So my wife's mom had to buy cigarettes for some lady, like back in New York. The lady asked her to buy $1,500 worth of cigarettes. It was, I forgot how many cartons it was, but the fact that she spent $1,500 on cigarettes is just like, what?
That's terrible. Like that means you're not even considering quitting. Like you're just like, I'm just gonna keep smoking forever.
It's my like that's the shit that makes my mind just explode, that like she's fine with handing that over for some fucking cigarettes.
It's because the cigarettes there are a lot cheaper because there's not the big tax
Oh, yeah.
on them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why they
but-
did it. No, I hear what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. I was just thinking as to why they did that. Now I know it's because of the price.
Yeah, I
still,
mean,
it's
at some
crazy.
point, even if like fucking Five Guys burgers were cheaper in New York than they were in Illinois, I would still never say to you, buy me $2,000 worth of fucking Five Guys burgers because they're cheaper. Like, it's like, no, maybe I'm not going to do that. And speaking of that, there's an In-N-Out, like, I think the next block from where my hotel is.
From where you were?
No, in Texas, when I go down there.
Oh, in Texas. Okay, that's so awesome. I didn't know they had In-N-Out in Texas.
I didn't know that either, but then I was talking to someone there, like, there's an In-N-Out burger right around the corner. I was like, fuck you. Fuck you. And then we got into a big fight because of that.
Isn't it funny how we're always on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to diet and exercising? Whenever I'm not doing it, you're doing it. Whenever I'm eating shitty, you're eating well, and vice versa.
Yeah,
Really weird.
I know. I have like a hairy stomach, so I always think like when I'm low carbing or like when my body's getting cut, I'm like, what's this for? I'm married,
hairy
I have
anyway.
a daughter, I'm hairy as fuck. Like, what's the purpose of this? Why not just
Well,
fucking eat whatever?
Well, health. Health is a big. We're old enough now to
Yeah, I
think
don't give
about
a
health.
fuck about that.
I don't give a fuck about that. It's hilarious. It's
I
like,
mean,
you wouldn't give a fuck about that until something happens, and then you'd be like, oh shit, okay, I care about this now. That's
Yeah,
the way it
that's
always
true.
works. That's everybody.
yeah.
So I don't care about that. Oh, really? Well, here's all these negative things now that you have because, oh, okay, I care now.
Yeah, that's true. That's like when the politicians find out that like their fucking son's gay or something like that,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they're
yeah.
for gay marriage and
I'm
like,
against gay marriage. Oh, really? Well, your son's gay. Okay, I guess I'm for it.
it's like the Meghan McCain on The View. It's such enough already with her. Like we get it, your father's dying, and she uses that every day on the show.
She talks about that every day?
Every day. She's like, well, I have experience with this because my father. And it's like when I worked at Fox News and someone called her out on it. I think it was who's that like chubby Spanish lady who goes against Trump so
Ana
much?
Navarro.
Yes. Yeah. She's like a Republican, right?
Yeah.
But she seems like the shit she says now, like she's more on like the liberal side of shit.
She just hates Trump. She's still
really?
super Republican, but she hates Trump.
The shit that just got me tight was I don't know if you followed the girl in Iowa who was missing, like from a running or whatever. She was missing
No.
for I don't know.
Oh
for a
yeah,
while.
an undocumented immigrant killed her. That thing. I just saw that before I came on air.
And that it's gonna be like
They're gonna use that till
they're
the
gonna
cows
use
come
that,
home.
man.
Yeah.
And it's so wild because it's one person out of millions and millions
Yeah.
and millions, but it had to be.
But they get to
fucking
make their
undocumented.
point.
I know.
Oh, fucking criminals, all that shit.
Trump's gonna tweet about it and
Of
use
course,
it.
Trump's had events where he literally just has people whose are the victims' families of somebody who was killed by undocumented immigrants, and he does these things where it's just like, here, all of you come and speak about how terrible immigrants are. And it's like, this is rank propaganda because it's just as easy to do an event where you get all the people who are successful immigrants, who are entrepreneurs, who created jobs, who all that shit.
Yep.
But that's like, nobody would think like, oh, let's have an event where we just talk about how awesome immigrants are. But he does think of, let's have an event where we shit on them.
Yep. That's why it's like
It's demagoguery. That's what that is. That's cheap demagoguery.
all the days that go by where nothing happens with undocumented immigrants and all these like good days, but like this one case.
Statistically,
Very, I know.
they're less likely to be criminals than native-born citizens.
Yeah.
Statistically, that's the reality.
Yeah. I compare it to like I never understood when you were in high school and like one person fucked something up and the teacher would be like, well, that's it. You fucked it up for the whole class. And you're like,
Yeah.
what? There's 40 other kids who weren't doing some dumb shit. Why not just kick that fuck out?
That's a great point, yeah.
And it's just such a cop out for the teacher to just
That's
like
such a good
probably
point.
didn't want to do their task or whatever. So they're like, oh, you all ruined it. And it's like, you didn't want to have the ice cream party anyway, so you just found a reason to fucking cancel that shit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's
So
exactly right.
fucked up, man.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's time to end this because I'm about to piss myself.
How long do we go for? My time's not working.
Hour 45?
Oh, beast.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty solid, I'd say. To be exact, it's an hour and 40...
Oh, fuck.
8 right now. 1 hour 48 minutes.
For 1 second in that, I thought you were actually frozen, and I was like, fuck. Remember the old school days where we used to lose fucking podcasts?
Oh, that was the worst. It was because of the software that I was using at the time.
But like
it's
my
PC
connection would
versus
be
Mac.
fucked up sometimes and all that shit.
But mostly it was because I had this PC
Oh, really?
where I was using a program from PC, and it just wasn't good. Whereas this, now I'm on a Mac, and the Mac, this shit is reliable as a motherfucker for stuff like this.
Yeah. My sister actually just switched from an iPhone to God knows what, a Samsung or
What?
wherever the fuck they have now, Droids.
That's not allowed.
I know, and it just fucks everything up. So we have a chat with me, her, and my brother,
Oh.
and it's like my messages get sent in fucking green now, and it's
Oh.
like you can't throw the like sign on someone's text anymore because
Oh.
now it just says like Corin like this shit. Like I'm like, switch back to the fucking iPhone. Like, what are you doing? Stop. Why are you trying to be an outlier? Like, just get the iPhone.
I've had really good experiences with iPhones, and I've also had bad experiences with iPhones, but I'm already committed.
Yeah, but it outweighs the bad because it's so much more compatible with shit, and it's like the apps are better, and like it's just easier.
I'm more committed. I don't see myself going
You still
away.
got the old school shit, or have you upgraded?
I have a 7.
Oh, so you're old. Like you got
That's
old school
old.
shit.
See, that's crazy that that's referred to as old. I feel like I just got this shit, even though
Yeah,
I
no,
got it.
7.
I
They've
got it
had
when it
the 8
came out.
for a
When did the
minute.
7 come out? 2 years ago? A year and a half ago?
Probably 2 years. Yeah, it's been a
So
minute.
I've had it for 2 years. And I feel like I just got it, even though the screen is shattered as a motherfucker. It is so shattered, son.
You got to get the privacy shit because it sort of blocks your phone from cracking.
It is so shattered. Uh-oh. I was getting the microphone feedback just from picking up my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn.
Alrighty. Love you guys. Dude, should I go and get here, let me end this and then I'll ask. I'm gonna ask Corin about the shitty food that I'm probably about to eat. Love you guys. Peace.